show you what's going on here today. So, customer bought this 75 Duster. I think it's one of his dream cars. I think that's what he said. Anyway, 318 in it. Chris has been working away, changed out the intake. We actually, it sat, I don't know for how many years, nobody really knows, but it didn't, we got it running, it ran like a bag of shit. And then we found the carburetor was no good, and there was huge vacuum leaks at the, around the carburetor, and then the power booster was garbage also. So Chris has gotten in here, he's changed out the intake for a 4-barrel intake with a Holley that came with the car. We've done the belts, the hoses, you know, cap, rotor, the essential stuff, belts, all that kind of stuff. It's running good now. So that's about it for under there. Chris is just tidying everything up, tidying up the wiring. And then if we get around to the inside, the floor is all solid, if you can see in the back. Everything's solid there. The front is gone. So I'm starting to cut, I'm going to cut it out here. Now this guy doesn't want to build a, he's just going to drive this car the way it looks. He hasn't got a lot of money. Just get it on the road, get it running. So we've gone through the brakes. What you did calipers, hoses.
Yeah, calipers, hoses.
Pads.
Rotors were resurfaced.
Yeah.
Rear drums, shoes.
A couple brake lines here and there. Just what it needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it needed. Put shocks on it. Front end seems tight. Basically, he's going about it the right way. I mean, just get it up, get it running.
It actually drives really nice down the road.
Yeah, it seems all right. I mean, it looks good. I mean, Christ, it's fired up. It's not smoking. It's not knocking. You know, it's...
Good compression.
Yeah, good compression. So we're just tidying it up. I mean, what we're going to do here on the floor is he doesn't want me to get in here and buy all new floor pans. He wants me to cut this piece out, basically make a piece that sort of look good enough for in there, kind of just weld it in, even if it's overlapped a bit, seam seal it, and away he goes. See, this is just a guy trying to keep a car on the road, just a daily driver that's kind of cool looking. So that's what's going on there. I know some of you guys are probably out there saying, holy shit, do it right or don't do it at all, but not everybody has that kind of money. And we are cutting the rust out of it. We're just not putting the proper pieces back in. We're just going to make our own up. You can see the trunk has got, you know, but we may even leave the trunk for now, because right now, like I say, we're going to get it running, get the front floors in it. You got to do that, throw the seats back in it, and he can drive it because he is on a huge budget. He has to just play with it as he can afford it. And that's what hot rodding is all about. So, what are we going to do here next? Yeah, and Chris is tidying up, running the gauges. All the gauges were pulled out of the dash, so he's tidying all that up. He's putting some gauges, you can see they're sitting up top here. He's going to mount those under the dash there. And yeah, we'll come back to you with this video. We'll continue on in a little bit and we'll show you some more as we go. Okay guys, so as you can see now, I've cut and put a piece in for the gentleman. Now what I did was up across there, I butt welded it. I butt welded it there, across here. Here it's overlapped a little bit. As I said, he's just after cutting the rust out, putting a patch in. He's not building a show car. This is going to be like an all year round driver. This is a fun car for him, and he's on a huge budget. Sorry for the noise. As we look over here, yes, we're expanding, we're moving, we're cutting. My builder's going there. Chris is in the corner working over there. There's a 42 Dodge nose we just repainted, did all the work on. Totally different truck than the Suburban you've seen. So back to this now. So yes, this is, you can see, and what I do is underneath all the welds, I put the weld through primer on there, and then I ran some seam sealer over top of that. And then of course we're going to spray this after with some rust paint. So the floors are all solid up in here. And now we'll come around here. And of course it's, I don't know if you can see it the light, but anyway, I'm putting a piece in here and joining a piece there. It's got a rust spot right in there on the floor. So we're taking care of that. And again, it's all solid back in here. So actually, it's pretty good. Just your front floors, which is typical of them going. Okay, so we'll leave the noise crowd here and we'll come back when we're all done and we'll show you. Okay guys, so we're back here now. It's the end of the day, thank God. So, there we go. You remember I showed you this last piece. It had been along there and seam seal it. So we texture sprayed it. Basically it's going to stay looking like this. It might dry down a little duller. But as I showed you, the floors are all good in the back. So the next thing is we got to get the car, got to get the seats back in the car. I mean, he's gonna put upholstery in it eventually, but at least he's on the road. He's got a solid floor now, right? So come around here. See the other side. A little dark in here right now, but there you go. So So you can kind of see the line right there. I put a piece that went right up into there, and then I did have to do a piece that came down through here and went all the way up. And it's butt welded here, it's butt welded here. There's some areas where it's overlapped a bit, like along the one edge, just like the other side, it's overlapped by like a ½ an inch. So, and then what I do is I go underneath it. I just tapped it up with a hammer and put a couple spot welds on it, ran some seam sealer on it, and of course throw the texture spray on it. So when and if, this will last him a lifetime for what he's using the car for, but when and if he ever gets enough money, he can cut all this out properly and put proper floor pans in. Like I say though, his floor pans from the seat riser back are solid. He just at the moment couldn't afford to do this. He took care of the mechanical, which was the most important on the car. He got up, he got it running. Chris is going through the electrical, and that's what you should do. I see so many people come in and all they're concerned about is paint and interior, and the fucking thing doesn't run worth a shit. So he took care of, you know, what needed to be done under here. He can jump in it, turn the key, drive it, and pretty much go anywhere. And that's the main thing. He can always deal with doing the floors properly later. So there's nothing wrong with the way these are done. It's just factory floors. As you can see, factory floors got the rolls in them, and they just look neat and tidy. I mean, I put the bump back up in there and all that kind of stuff like it should be. There's no oil canning. They're solid. There's braces underneath the floor when you cut it out, which I again put the welds. I drilled through the metal and I welded it back down to them so there can be no oil canning. So it's just a matter of preference, whether you're getting really fussy, or if you're worried about it looking factory or not. Whoever sees the floors anyway. And like I say, this gentleman is by no means, he's not building a show car. He wants to jump in it, drive it, have a cool old duster from the day that he remembers growing up with, and take his daughter for a ride. That's all he's after. So that's what's going on. So hey, don't know what else to tell you. There you go. It's a quick, not really a how-to, but just a quick little job and showing us, throwing some patches in the car for a guy that's just on a budget. So remember, it's always a good time and old time. We'll see you next time.